Welcome, new and returning listeners, to today's episode of the Black Business Roundtable. I am your host, Doug Blacksher, broadcasting to you live from the city of Diversity, Oakland, California, at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 7 p.m. East Coast Time every Newsday Thursday. Today, we are speaking with the one and only friend of the show, Ray Bobbitt of the African American Sports and Entertainment Group, to update us on what is happening since his last appearance in March of 2023. Audience, the impact and change the African American Sports and Entertainment Group, AASEG, project will have on the city of Oakland, and especially, and you hear me talk about this all the time, the corridor, the Oakland corridor, Hagenberger, right off the airport, will generate tens of millions of dollars that is needed in this city because we already have 177 million shortcoming. So the surrounding community is going to be astounding. Going to revitalize that East Oakland corridor from the Oakland airport. Last but definitely not least, save our sanity for over 2 years. The incredible, my friend, my colleague, my sister, Dr. Ashley Coleman, Doctor of Psychology, whom we hope to have back with us soon for Therapeutic Thursday. Until then, we will do our best. We will do our best to keep your mental health in check with a reminder. And let's be clear, audience. If you know somebody who's depressed, have anxiety, stressed out, thinking of suicide, please call 988. And that is the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. 988. Available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can text or you can chat. And women looking for a therapist, go to therapyforblackgirls.com. And that is therapyforblackgirls.com. And for men looking for a therapist, therapyforblackmen.org. Also, let's be clear here, audience. We must think about our mental health as well as our physical health. So please, if you're having suicide thoughts, depression, anxiety, please reach out and get in touch with a therapist. Hashtag Oakland Coliseum, hashtag Doug Blacksher, hashtag the Black Business Roundtable, hashtag the Black Business Roundtable Ashley. Now, let's get right into it today. And let's be clear here, audience. One of the things that is plaguing Black community is economics. So we're going to break off a little bit before Mr. Ray Bobbitt gets here. He's supposed to be here about 4:10, 4:15, because he is going to be a huge part of that moving forward and creating Black economics. And I say this before I get into the celebrating the month, courtesy of National Day Calendar. Black people in this country spends $1.5 trillion on automotive products, on cars, trucks, manufactured goods. And whenever we need help, whenever Black people need help, we don't get it. We spend more money than any other group, any other race of people in this country, but we get treated like boo-boo the fool. So I'm going to keep bringing that up because if you have an opportunity to spend your money at a Black business, do it. We have got to start spending our own money in our own community like other races do. Take care of us first, and then we'll filter out amongst the others. But just keep that number in mind. 1.5 trillion a year. Black people spend more money in this country than any other group of people. To that end, celebrating this month courtesy of National Day Calendar. Their website is nationaldaycalendar.com. If you were born in April, you share a birthday with the actress Ashley Judd, Jaman Husu, Andre Agassi, and 420 himself, Willie Nelson. Puff, puff, pass, Smokey. Puff, puff, pass. National Day Technical Teach Children to Save Day. Take our sons and daughters to work day, and that's listed below. And that would be National Telephone Day. That would be National Take Our Children to Work Day, and Teach Children to Save Day. National Weeks, Every Kid Healthy Week, and Gathering of Nations. Hashtag Gathering of Nations. Hashtag Every Kid Healthy Week. National Month, National Autism Awareness Month, and Stress Awareness Month. Hashtag, as listed below. A calendar note. From anytime we want to know something, we got to reach out to organizations like a calendar note from EJI, Equal Justice Initiative. Equal Justice Initiative keeps this program informed on all the racial discriminations that Black people have endured for centuries and continue to endure. And I'm going to sidebar real quick. We have a lot of young Black people who don't understand the history of this country, and they're not going to put up with the crap that our parents put up, that our great grandparents put up, not our grandparents put up with. So please check out EJI, and the story for today is on April 25th, 1959, a white mob in Mississippi killed a Black man named Mack Charles Parker. Mack Charles Parker. Mr. Parker had been accused of, and I want you to go on EJI. Click EJI calendar link for the remainder of this history lesson in our podcast description. Learn more about our history of racial injustice, economic injustice, health injustice, generational wealth injustice, how this country will go abroad and spend tens of billions of dollars helping other countries out where you got Americans, Black Americans here in California, in Oakland, in Alameda County, in the United States of America, who have suffered from injustice for centuries. Help us, America. Help your own American, Black American. Thank you. Please click EJI calendar link for the remainder of this history lesson in our podcast description. Learn more about our history, Black history of racial injustice, and about EJI. Thank you very much. Today on the Black Business Roundtable podcast, returning guest, friend of the show, friend of mine, friend of the economic building in Oakland and Alameda County, Ray Bobbitt, founder of the African American Sports and Entertainment Group, AASEG. Ray Bobbitt serves as the president and sole shareholder of the Narcifa Corporation, a facility management and urban consulting company founded over 22 years ago in Oakland, California. He has co-founded, served on boards of advisory, boards such as Webster Elementary Tutoring and Mentoring Program, East Oakland San Francisco Police Department Southern Station Community Police Advisory Board, PAC Northern California, Oakland, the Parks and Recreation Commission, the Oakland Coliseum Economic Impact and Legal Action Committee formed to keep professional sports in Oakland. See contact information below. Website as indicated below. Check the brother out. Follow him. We got to support this man. He is laying the groundwork for not just Black people owning a NFL, a WNBA team, but possibly, I believe, a soccer team. And we'll ask him when he comes on today. It is critical that we get the same opportunity. Black people in this country get the same opportunity to own our own businesses, own our own home, own our own community, and not get sold out as we have been over the last 400 years. Yes, 400 years. So please, AASEG, African American Sports and Entertainment Group, and allow us to have the same opportunity that even people who come over over the last 100 years have more opportunity and resources that are given to them by this government that refuses to give it to its own native people. Thumbs up and thumbs down, local, national, and international. Man, it's going to be popping today. Hashtag thumbs up, hashtag thumbs down. Fans of this segment, send me your thumbs up and thumbs down the day before the show. The day before the show, and they may be featured on the show, and we'll share them with our audience. Contact me up on social media, Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn, sharing this caring. Sharing is caring. So light it up. Thumbs up. Today, a thumbs up goes to the 77-year-old grandmother that helped save her neighbor using a cane and a German Shepherd named Troy during a robbery in broad daylight. Went down the street chasing the people outside her home in Oakland, California. So just remember, you can make a difference. She did. A 77-year-old woman chasing somebody down the street after finding out that, looking in her camera and seeing that they were doing a robbery on one of her neighbors. So the biggest thing that we have to remember here as a people, we have to move forward in relying on neighborhood and community people to protect our people. Miss Taylor of District 3 is giving it her best shot, and with her name recognition, she has a shot to make a difference in her community. Thumbs down, just as in last week's podcast, it deserves another mention. The continuing infighting by our elected official, yes, elected official, is not only embarrassing, it is ludicrous. It is downright ridiculous due to the fact that this is making everyone from the top down appear totally incompetent. Your constituents demand your participation and representation, not divisiveness and degradation. Don't be like Captain Orange bullshit. We don't want to be out there causing mayhem. We want to get together and resolve things. Create a community that's going to be productive economically and other. So let's cut the Captain Orange bullshit out and start working together in Oakland, California. Put the bullshit aside and keep riding like you are in the Corvette with President Joe Biden. However, since you are currently acting like clowns this week, once again, thumbs down. Dun, 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 dun. One thing, thumbs down. You are more than welcome to come on this podcast if you are ready to share how you can make change starting with the man or the woman in the mirror. And you remember that famous saying by Michael Jackson. Audience, he just showed up. Guest for the day, my man, my brother, who I will go Duke City with for anybody who tries to slow his roll down. Audience, let's welcome back my brother and friend of the show, Mr. Ray Bobbitt. Woohoo! What's going on, Mr. Ray Bobbitt?
Oh, man, I'm blessed, doing good, hanging in there. Happy to be with you.
Well, let me tell you something, man. We are amping it up this year. And since you've been on the show last, let me just give you a brief update. We've had people from the East Coast, Atlanta, Florida, Chicago, all asking me, hey, how's the brother doing with getting that NFL team? So you got support all across this country and you don't even know it. So I'm letting you know, keep up the good fight and we're going to stay behind you and keep pushing you forward.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it.
So let's get ready for an update, audience, with Mr. Ray Bobbitt. He is a very busy man, doing so many great things in the city of Oakland, county of Alameda, and soon to be state and nationally. But I'd like to update people real quick by saying the Oakland Hagenberger corridor, and they talk about this almost every week, has taken a serious hit economically, losing Denny's, In-N-Out Burger, Black Bear Diner, Starbucks. So what you're doing can make a huge difference. All this, what this man is doing in deep East Oakland can make a huge difference economically, and especially that corridor which has been devastated with businesses leaving in droves. But to that end, thank you for being a guest on the Black Business Roundtable podcast. How are things moving with the African American Sports and Entertainment Group regarding ownership of a professional sports team and franchise? Thank you.
Well, thank you for having me again. I'm always much appreciative of the opportunity to be here on your show. It's a credible show. You have so much love and respect here in Oakland, and want to just thank you first and foremost. Secondly, I think that it's really important to understand that you can't always follow headlines. The truth of the matter is that for example, the Denny's and Hagenberger has been struggling for a long time, and I think sometimes Oakland unfortunately gets its incidents magnified just because we've been such an agent of change, and we've been so willing to be in conflict with systems, and for that we pay a pretty dear price. For we stand up for what's right. We're always willing to take the hit for the rest of the country. So we do that, and oftentimes our community and our city gets villainized. Nonetheless, we are in a incredible position as a organization to overtake the Coliseum site and really recreate and revitalize the entire area, including the Hagenberger corridor. And just to give some backstory on the Hagenberger corridor, that is where the airport is. And I think if you look at any major metropolitan in the country, very similar incidents are happening on their near their airports. A lot of vehicle theft, break-ins, and things of that nature. Unfortunately, it's happening everywhere. But we are going to correct it. But more importantly, our project is going to revitalize, and we believe that once we break ground, it's like going to be a tsunami of positivity. We have an opportunity to really redevelop and revitalize East Oakland in a way that's never been done. And we got here because we came together wanting to start the first African-American majority-owned NFL football team here in Oakland. Well, we quickly realized that it was way more about community and revitalization and a lack of gentrification and displacement than it was about football. So every sports league asks you two questions. A, they ask you, where are you going to play? And secondly, they ask you, where's the money going to come from? And believe it or not, in sports these days, where you're going to get the money come from is actually more of the second question, because most of the teams do relocate because they don't have a place to play that they feel is adequate. So now we have the Coliseum, which is known as the best sports destination in the country. It was designed that way for three iconic sports teams. As you are aware, we've lost two and are in the process of losing the last one. And so this rejuvenation and revitalization of not only our community, but our sports franchises is something that really the people are more hungry for than today than they were when we first started this process.
Well, let me just tell you this, audience. When, not if, when this come into fruition, I need every person in America, and specifically Black people in America, to buy memorabilia from this first owned African-American sports and entertainment team. We need to show all hands on deck. And the most important thing here, Ray, and I want the audience across the city, county, state, and country to know, is this. You are going to be making history. You and your organization are going to be making history, not just Black history, but American history. Owning a large franchise NFL team has never been heard of in the United States by a Black man. So I applaud you. And let me tell you, when I say this, you see these? Whenever you need me to get in the ring, man, just give me a call, because you know I'll throw down for you.
Oh, man, you've been throwing down since day one. The beauty of it is that we keep getting stronger and stronger. Oftentimes when you embark upon something that's historic, it's almost like they're going to count you out to give up or to relinquish, but we've only gotten stronger. And whenever you're doing something like this, it's tough sledding. It's hard. You go through different things, but you keep your mind and your sight on the vision. And if you don't have vision, you don't have anything, And so with us, it's just gotten so strong. Our vision has gotten so strong. We obviously have been, the relocation of the Oakland Athletics is affirmed. And so that's a situation which we had, as you know, a challenge with, because we had to get the Oakland Athletics side of the Coliseum site, which they own 50% interest. So that feels like it's imminent that we will get that site and get that side of it. And so that was a huge challenge. But, as we go through this process, you understand that the arena, just so you know, just to give you an idea of how well this site is regarded, the Oakland Arena, where the Golden State Warriors won their 3 out of their 4 championships, when the Warriors moved to San Francisco, the arena picked up 41 additional dates. Since that time, the arena has become 7th out of 350 arenas and stadiums that are managed by AEG. And so they have been doing more Disney on Ice, more Celine Dion, more Anita Baker. The arena is killing it right now. So what it tells you is that people are really excited and really happy and continue to come to the Coliseum site to be entertained. We believe that with the void in these Oakland sports teams leaving, the opportunity for us to bring additional and new sports franchises to Oakland is an incredible opportunity, and to be managed and generated through the vision of African Americans is something that's just phenomenal. And the way things line it up, it's like God, it's like divine intervention.
Well, when you got a great leader like you, it has no other way. I know your story. I mean, this is going off some of the questions, but I know your story where you grew up around the Coliseum. And yes, it is ranked, the Coliseum is ranked number 4th in the nation for BART, bus, parking. You got train stations, and you also got a major highway that comes right next to it. And it's right down the street from the Oakland Airport. But can you remind us of some of the major players that you have on your team? Shonda, Scott, and
Robert Bob.
I could be wrong. I want you to let our audience know who some of these major players who are on your team to make this happen. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. So Robert Bob, as we know, was the former city manager of Oakland. Robert Bob was partially responsible for bringing the Montreal Expos to Washington D.C. And to become the Nationals. When he was the city manager of D.C. And so he, as a part member of our team, has a tremendous amount of experience in that area, and so he's just so valuable. He, through the Robert Bob Group, manages municipalities all over the country. So he's just a phenomenal person, human being, and a great member of our team. Then you have Shonda Scott, who does corporate compliance around the country. Her third generation Oakland, third generation business owner. Her family has one of the most successful African American owned businesses in the country. She's amazing with corporate compliance and making sure that all that we do includes and incorporates the growth of our community. We have Alan Dones, second generation developer in Oakland, one of Oakland's top developers. Um, his father was one of the first African American developers in Oakland to go vertical. So just an extraordinary person. We have Bill Duffy, who's the most successful sports agent uh, in the world, literally. Um, he's now with WME, but owned BDA. Has I think he got 6 or 7 of the top 20 draft picks this year in the NBA draft. Just a phenomenal person, is a sports strategist, and is really helping us uh, get what we need through the new sports leagues and whatnot. Um, we have Loop Capital, which is the largest African American owned investment banking firm in the country. Loop Capital is phenomenal. They do things all over the world. They've managed over $1 trillion, and I say that with a T. And just a incredible group. They've put more African Americans on Wall Street than any other firm. And so, you're talking about a dream team of individuals such as Lanice Jones and John Jones III, and Lavonna Boulier, and just Jonathan Jones. I mean, just a myriad of people, man, who are been working on this project, and we're getting stronger and stronger and stronger. It's just amazing.
Well, before we go to the next question, I'm gonna say one last thing. You're gonna have a player hater or two. So if you do, give me a call and I'll take them on hand-to-hand combat.
Hey, anytime you're doing something that people think is impossible, you're going to have people who doubt you and people who criticize you, or whatever the case may be. So it's not that comes with the territory. And if you you got to be built for that. So it's and you also have to have your advocates out there advocating for you, and you've been phenomenal. And we've had a couple people that have you know brought some negativity to our space, and you've been able to jump on them right away and get them corrected. So you and others, man, who believe in Black excellence and everything that we're trying to do. So just a very, very grateful for all the support we have. And I mean, Oakland is behind, everybody's behind us. So you find very few people who can criticize the vision that we have and the story that we tell that got us to this vision. And we're all from here, so we're just going to make this happen. So it's a great opportunity for us.
What are some of the challenges facing your organization presently?
I think that the main challenge that we've had, to be quite honest with you, was securing the other 50% interest in the site. That's been the most challenging part, because when the city of Oakland and the county of Alameda bought that site, there was an undivided interest in it. And so, meaning that they bought it, but there was no ownership agreement. There was no, and it was just an undivided interest. So it'd be similar to, like, if you and your wife bought a home together, and then you guys decided to, to not be together, or whatever, or or if you and a friend bought a house, you couldn't just say, well, I own the kitchen and the garage, and you own the 2 bedrooms. That you can't do that. It's an undivided interest. So either one person has to buy the other person out and buy out their equity, and then that person no longer owns it, or they have to have a cooperation agreement or ownership agreement that talks specifically about how they're going to manage it. And so, like, they might say, okay, well, let's just rent it out, and then we pay the taxes and the insurance, and we pay the upkeep, and then we split the rest each. So there was no undivided interest. It's an undivided interest on that site. So the city and county, for whatever reason, they never did an agreement. So now the only option really for us is to buy them out. So that is the primary challenge. It's been the challenge for a long time, but because of these just incredibly just divine circumstances of the A's deciding to leave Oakland and them deciding that they would continue to negotiate with us to sell the site. These are things that we never even imagined would even happen when we first started this process. So to see those things materializing and happening, and obviously, as a Oakland native and a lifelong A's fan, I'm sad to see them, move. But at the same time, our community is resilient. Our city is resilient. So for every door that closes, 5 more open for us. So we're really excited about it. But that was our main challenge. That's been the biggest challenge, and making sure that things moved quickly with the city and the county and everything. So, that's been the primary challenge.
Well, I'm going to tell you this, and this is something that you can count on me 199.99% of. This next question: are our local politicians helping with the first ownership? And if so, please share with our audience what they're doing to help, because Oakland has been the mecca for almost the last century of many, many things happening Black. And we need to stand 100% behind you. As you know, I'm a California Democratic delegate, Alameda County Democratic Central Committee member, Oakland East Bay Democratic Club, chairman of Labor and Economic Growth. I want you to tell our audience if our local elected politicians are helping you, and if not, pull me to the side, because I don't mind checking them. You need both the community, businesses, and our politicians locally, county, state, and nationally be helping you out. Thank you.
Well, I mean, that's a great question, and we do have a lot of support from the community. The elected officials have actually been helpful for us and been working with us. I do think that I think that with any municipal government, it's going to move slower than you would like for it to, just because that's the nature of government. When you're in the private sector, you're used to moving a lot faster, and you're just moving to push things a lot quicker. But I can say that, with that said, we've had a lot of our elected officials really come on board with us and really start to really buy into what our goals and our objectives are. Um, and it's from both sides, from the county, from the city, from the Joint Powers Authority. Everybody's pretty behind us right now. It's very hard to find anybody who's not pulling for us. I think that the city administration, the city attorney's office, those are where we find that there's the most delay. But the city administrator's office has been awesome of late. There's been a lot of change there. There's been a new city administrator come in. And so we just had a meeting with them last week, and it was really positive. And so we feel like everybody's buying into this concept across the board. So as of right now, you don't have to knuckle up on anybody, brother Doug. We got you right now. Right now, we're okay. We okay. You can put those on ice for a minute, but I have to compliment the city of Oakland and the county of Alameda with respect to how much they've helped us.
Well, I had an opportunity to talk to Justin last week. I'm glad you told me what you told me about him and his his new administration, because he just came in. He and I had a conversation at the town hall meeting that Kevin Jenkins had, and I will be giving him a call, asking him to come on to the show, making sure we have a commitment from the city of Oakland, Mayor Shane Tiles administration, to make sure you get everything you need to pull this off. Now, this is a huge question coming up. You, AASEG, are pioneers doing something that has never been done before by a Black consortium. What advice would you give others following in your footsteps? Because you're going to be an icon when everything comes together. You're going to be asking them all over the country, motivating and talking to people of how we can build on this to build Black economics in the country that has left us out for 400 years. Thank you.
That's a really good question, and it's an important question. Part of the reason why we're doing this is to create a blueprint that we think can be utilized throughout the country. We know that a lot of our sports teams reside in large cities where there's a large population of African Americans. Excuse me. So that's a important question, and it's an important piece of what we're trying to do. So I think that the best piece of advice I can say is that once we complete our process, we intend on really making sure that we package it in such a way where it's very easily to access, and so people can understand it. And I agree, we will be going around the country helping people do the same thing, because um, unfortunately, in a lot of our sports industries and our sports leagues, many of the players are African American, but not a lot of ownership, or no ownership at this point, and very little management, very little head coaching ranks. So this is something that we really need to focus on and package correctly, so we have a blueprint for it, so that the rest of the people throughout the country can actually adopt this same philosophy as we get into this industry that we have dominated for so long but really haven't owned, and we haven't really had ownership roles and positions in this type of industry. And so I think that it's time. I think that generally speaking, even the organizations and the leagues understand the importance of it. And I think once you do it once, I think it's just like anything else. The floodgates will open. And as long as people are supporting each other and looking out for each other, I don't think that there can be a lot of challenges. But I would just suggest that the second piece of advice I would get, in addition to just kind of studying the blueprint that came before you, is making sure you put together the right combination of people, because that's going to play a big role in how well you do in executing your objectives. It's like who you start with. You have to have people who are like-minded, who have very similar visions than you, and you get along with them and you respect them and you enjoy working with them. Um, so much, we spend so much time in criticism of each other at times, that, but what I think is not being talked about is there's this new movement of, like, people from our community really working together. And when we do it, it's a fascinating and beautiful thing. And so we're able to do that. So I would really highly recommend that the consortium and the collective of people that you assemble, that you really take time to make sure that those are the right people, make sure that they are people who are committed to the same type of vision that you have. And that's really important. And then the final piece, I think you have to make sure that your projects are leading with the betterment of the community. And you have to do it for the people and for intergenerational wealth transfer of people who don't exist yet, our kids and our grandkids and our great grandkids. Like, we have to create a foundation and a structure for that. And the best way to do that is to make sure that our community can benefit directly from any of the success we may have in these type of projects. So I would say that those would be the three pillars that I would work off of and give as the best advice that I could give.
You're going to be a legacy not only here in Oakland County, state of California, but all across the United States. So I am so proud to be in your vicinity. And once again, my goal here is anything you need to make this happen. We are going to be here, not just the Black Business Roundtable, but blackusa.news, because we spend $1.5 trillion a year in this economy, and we continue, and more money than any other group of people, but we continuously be overlooked by these rich white billionaire, and instead of giving us a hand up, they put their foot on our necks and hold us down. I've worked at several large billion-dollar companies that treat the young Black people like field Negroes. Dog them out. You got racist management people who are terrible, and that's why we need to have our own. We need to build our own. What you're doing? You're going to be a legacy around here, man, and I'm proud of you.
Well,
go ahead.
No, I was going to say I appreciate those kind of words.
Well, how can BBRT, the Black Business Roundtable, how can we and our thousands of listeners, tens of thousands of listeners, help in the success of the African American Sports and Entertainment Group? How can we help? Thank you.
Well, I think that the best way to help us is to continue to do what you're doing, allowing us your platform to project our message, to make sure that our vision is reaching our community, to make sure that our community understands and has the facts about our development, about our pursuit of professional sports teams, and making sure that there's a clear understanding of our objectives, and that's to better our community as a whole. As long as we can continue to be invited to your platforms and to take the time to really, inform people and educate them about like our progress and the different challenges we may have, there's not a better way to compliment and support us than to just continue to allow us to, to be on these really important platforms like you have, where we know a lot of people follow you. We know how strong your presence is in Oakland and the East Bay region. We know how your reach is around the country. We've seen it.
Wait a minute. Hey, Ray Bobbitt, I got a call from a brother in China who says he watches the show in China.
Wow. So let me correct myself. Your reach around the world. Not just
hey, when he said I'm from China, I had to Google him. And yes, he is from China. So is there any other news that you would like to share regarding the Oakland Coliseum and the African American Sports and Entertainment Group that we may not have touched on during this interview today? Thank you.
I just think that right now, we just want to get everybody's support. We're really excited. We're really happy about our objectives and our vision, and just keep supporting us. That's all we can ask for, and our prayers, because we believe this is a divine mission, and we all believe in God, and we believe that he's guiding us through this process.
Well, let me be clear here, audience, and I just found out that our viewer or viewers in China is watching on Instagram. We want this world to know, the world, Craig, that the African American Sports and Entertainment Group, formed together by my friend, my colleague, my brother, Ray Bobbitt, you will have money pouring in across the United States and across the world for the first African-American professional sports team. And since we got a few minutes left, can you tell us, I heard something about a soccer team you guys are looking at acquiring?
Oh, no, we're supporting the Roots Soccer Club, which is,
Supporting.
yeah, we have a cooperation agreement with them. So they are looking to play in the Malibu site, which is right next to us. So we've been supporting that process. But a couple of our members are investors in that team.
And this is what I'm talking about, audience, the collaboration, thinking outside of the box, not only for football and basketball, but for any professional group that has a foothold in the market and making it a great opportunity for not just one stream of revenue or two streams, but many streams of revenue. I heard you mention the concerts, etc. So, audience, as we wrap this up today, let me tell you something, Ray. If there is anything that I can do to help you and your group, it's done. Audience, when they do come together, I want to make sure we sell out that stadium the first day and keep it moving. Because
thank you, my brother.
This is how you create generational wealth.
That's
Instead of pouring your money into these white billionaire-owned professional sports teams and manufacturing company and services, let's take some of that $1.5 million and pour it into our own Black businesses and support them and create economic power. And if you're not making money, you are a slave in this country, in this world. To that end, Mr. Ray Bobbitt, Brother Ray, keep up the great work. I know you've got your hands full down in Alameda County.
Yes, sir.
And maybe next time we'll talk a little bit about that. But you let my sister know, and she's the main reason why I became politically strong. I watched her get beat up one time at a Alameda County Democratic Central Committee, and I stood up and I told everyone, you will not talk to this, and you can ask her about this. You will not talk to this sister like this. You're going to talk to her the same way you talk to these white women, these Asian women, and now this Black woman, because I was thoroughly disgusted. And we need to, Black men who are listening to this, we need to start standing up for our Black women, because if we shit on them, we give reason for other people to shit on them. So keep up the great work. Ray, thank you for
brother.
joining
God
us
bless
today.
you. God bless you. Take care.
All right. Stay strong, brother, and keep up the good work. And let us know if we need to make phone call, go to city council meeting, whatever.
I will, for sure.
All right. Have a great day, man. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Audience, as we wrap it up today, as you can see, I am going to be part of whatever generates Black wealth, Black economics, Black strength, Black power, just like other groups of people do. They take care of their people, and we need to start taking care of our people. I'm not saying I dislike any other group. I'm just saying I love my group. I love my people. We've been here 400 years. 400 years. And we should have a stronger foothold economically in this country. And once again, and I keep using this number because it is a factual number. We take that $1.5 trillion and take a third of that money and start pouring it into our own businesses, to our own people, to our own manufacturing company, and start building our own cars, and stop being consumers and start being producers and owners. To that end, audience, more about AASEG, please visit their website at AASEGOakland.com. Phone number 510-473-2722. Email is at contact@AASEGOakland.com. Instagram at AASEGOakland. Hashtag AASEG Oakland. As we wrap it up today, as I do every week, thank you to Mr. Donnie Glover for the honor of the Black Business Roundtable and being a part of your growing network dedicated to bringing the real unfiltered news before the news. Hashtag BlackUSA.news, hashtag Donnie Glover, BeMoreNews.com, BlackUSA.news, DonnieGlover.com, Twitter.com, Donnie Glover. To see more shows under this media umbrella, Chap and Friends, Party Marty, Let's Talk, Black USA Crypto News with my friend and my brother, Kamal Hubbard. And if you listen, Kamal, I haven't forgotten about you. I've been been a little under the weather health-wise, but I will follow up with you. Black USA, the Blackout Live from New York with my little sister, Tajmir. 60 Minutes in Black America with my brother, Michael Haney. He can be a firecracker at times. BlackUSA.news morning show, Donnie Glover show, Shared Space, Frontline News, Troy Rawlings show, and the Beverly Smith show, and more. Audience, thank you again for your continuing to share hashtag Stand With Carlton of Raleigh, NC 2022, imprisoned a young Black man entrepreneur that worked as a professional in tattoo artistry with his own brick and mortar storefront with celebrity clients, not only in North Carolina, but in other states. He was in prison for self-defense when threatened with bodily harm along with his patron in his business establishment. Please listen to the backstory of Carlton. The link is in the podcast description. Follow this young man. Let's keep our eyes on North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina. Thank you, audience, for your prayers and thoughts, messages, and donations for Carlton. Also, thank you here in Northern California for supporting hashtag Justice for Enzo, the Husky in Lodi, California, the animal advocates, the Chris Kelly Foundation based in Southern California, continue with the hashtag Boycott Lodi, California, hashtag Boycott Lodi, hashtag Boycott Lodi Wine. You have many choices for wines, not just in Lodi and San Joaquin Valley, but all across the United States. So when you're going to purchase a wine other than the 80 winemakers in Lodi and San Joaquin County, especially you animal lovers, we don't have to spend our money where they are inhumane to animals. The new series called Lodi, based on a true story in Lodi, California during the 1970s, is a staring look in Lodi, which we want to make sure we don't support anything coming out of Lodi and also San Joaquin County. Film in Lodi, your entire film crew, and the producer's name is Ewan McGregor. Filming in Lodi, California, your entire film crew may be supporting Lodi police as the production will need to hire security, which would employ the very agency, Lodi police, that tasered this family dog, Enzo, while Lodi Animal Control noosed him and drug him down the street in front of witnesses, neighbors, community. Google Justice for Enzo the Husky and see the chilling, and I mean the chilling video of for yourself and share it with others. The video has made its way to Europe, New Zealand, and beyond. There is a GoFundMe and petition as well. And I want to give a quick shout out to my sister Alice and brother Lonnie, who has a Helping Hands organization that feeds homeless people here in Oakland. Been around here for over 3 decades, 30 years. And the city of Oakland has threatened to shut the 5800 block of International Boulevard in Oakland. I did give a call out to Deputy Mayor Kimberly, Dr. Kimberly Mayfield, when she's in New York right now. But when she gets back, we're going to go down there and see what we can do to help save this very powerful group of people. Sister Alice and brother Lonnie, the troops are on their way. If you want to be in the know and reach our audience, then join our BBRT advertising family, or to be a possible guest on the show, reach us via our email, bbrt2021@hotmail.com. Please include your company name, address, website, company phone number, and social media page info to our email address, bbrt2021@hotmail.com, for vetting consideration. Audience, help us grow by sharing our podcast and follow us on social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Tune in Thursdays at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 7 p.m. East Coast Time on the BlackUSA.News Network on YouTube, Facebook, and live on Instagram. And remember, together, and that's the only way we're going to do this, Black America. We got to stand together. We can listen, we can learn, and we can share, because I know you care. This is Doug Blacksher and Dr. Ashley Coleman, Doctor of Psychology, returning soon, of the Black Business Roundtable. God bless and good night.